Welcome to all joining us for the pre-recorded show for Friday. Racing takes place at Fairview. At this stage, we're on the turf and the poly. Most of the racing on the poly, and then I think there's two or so races that are on the turf. Joining me on the line is Grant Paddock, and as per usual, thanks very much, Grant, for taking up your time and giving the punters the selections. Firstly, you're telling me your side of the world, you've had some rain and the cooler weather is set in.
Yeah, morning Sheldon, morning. Yeah, rainy. We've had a lot of rain this past week, from Thursday last week until last night. Another 18 mils last night. I think we're sitting at about 100 mils or close to 100 at Fairview. The grass track's very, very wet. I doubt very much that they'll race those two features on the grass. I'm almost 100% sure they'll be poly races.
Okay, so to take notes straight off the bat as we start the batting, Grant's given us the heads up. The rain's been around, so those races that were scheduled for the turf, wait for early Friday morning, as this is pre-recorded on Thursday morning, and let's see what the change of surface will be. Will they stay on the grass or go to the poly? Let's see what happens in the next couple of hours as we are recording on Thursday. Now, Grant, it's a 10-race program, so we'll try and get through it as quickly as possible. We don't want to keep you on the line too long. The opener, we have a 12-10 favourite in the form of number 1, Adia. And then we have a 17-10 shot, number 5, Move On Over. Tell us about these two runners. Are they your top two selections?
Yeah, they are, Sheldon. That horse, Adia, ran a very good race again in the nursery. First time out, showed a lot of pace. Beautiful, big, strong, free-striding kind of a horse. First run on the poly is the only question mark, and I see Kumalo's off on all his rides on Friday, so we're going to have to see who's going to ride there. But he showed a lot of speed, doing good work at home. I think he'll be a hard nut to crack. Move On Over's got the poly experience, second to Vars Vota last time out. Gavin will have a line, he trains Vars Vota, he'll have a line through that. And then that also Explicit Content will probably run third. Pretty straightforward race. I don't see any spooks here. The 1, 5 and 4 should take out the first 3 positions.
Talking about no spooks and no surprises, race number 2, no surprise to see number 8, Vandalize, being your best bet on the card. And just looking at the current price, 8-10. When you look at the 2 runner-up berths, the draw, this daughter of Captain of All, by all intents and purposes, you're 100% spot on, the bet of the day.
Yeah, 100%, Sheldon. She's done nothing wrong. 2 decent runs last time out. Just got caught back 200 meters. Richard up, very hard horse to beat. Red Love, Main Danger, and Jockey Strike here. Raced wide last time out. Still ran a very decent race. Not far behind Vandalize. Very good exactor. 8 from 6. No spooks once again in this race.
So you're bankering number 8 in the opening leg of the bar pot as we move on to race number 3, which will be the second leg of the bar pot. And yeah, I think your numbers are 2 and 3, Short Sharp Shock, and number 3, Egret, who I believe the blinkers are going on. Are those your selections, 2 from the 3 or the 3 from the 2?
Personally, the 3 from the 2. Sheldon, very nice run, first time for the yard. Egret got the blinkers on. She worked extremely well with the blinkers on. Musieni still stays on, and big runner. Short Sharp Shock's got to be there. It's very good first run in P. I thought it might have been a 100, maybe a furlong shortwood, but they're not worried about the cut back in trip. And punters mustn't throw this horse Principessa Mia away. I know she got left of the first 2 starts and ran on, but this filly made up 10 lengths in 400 meters in her last start over a 5 furlong. Got draw 1 again, which I don't think is going to be in her favour, strangely enough, as she gets left, and they might crowd her, close her up again. But she'll definitely be in there. And I know I've only got 2 and 3 in the bipod. I think you do have to add in the 9. She finished in 22 seconds and made up a heap of ground over the last 400. So she's probably the main danger to the Mitch Lee 2. So those 3 should get you through everything.
Excellent. Let's move on to race number 4. Race number 4 over 1900 meters. So they'll be testing the waters distance-wise. And at this early stage of recording, number 1, Popping Crease is trading at 16-10, the ruling favourite. Draw number 6 at this stage of the game and comes here with 2 runner-up berths behind Medalist Tart and also behind Lord Nelson over 2400 meters. Probably just needing those 2 comeback runs, Grant?
I wouldn't say needing. He's a very one-pace individual. He's guaranteed he's going to try and steal this race. There's no doubt. He's going to get out there and try and steal it. Louis will want to slow it up on the back straight and then pinch a gap early. But then he's got the likes of Bella First Wave, who's finally got a good draw, and that also goes up handy. So there can be a bit of throat cutting. I do think he looks like the right horse having his peak run here. It's just he's not a horse that can quicken off a pace. You know, he's a bowler, and if he doesn't get it his own way, it could be a bit difficult for him. I like this filly from the Mitchley Yard, Gold for Africa. She ran a very, very good race first time out here, finishing very strongly over a mile, 1900 up. Good draw this time out. Very good value. I think she's trading at about 10-1. Very good value. I think she's a big runner. Shambach, now jockey strike here. Richard jumps on from a 1 draw. I think if he sees the trip out, he's got to be a runner, but being out of Dynasty, got to be no problem with the distance. And then the likes of Place Explorer is another one who goes up handy. So we could have a cracking pace here and a tricky kind of a result. But I'm going for Popping Crease to get it done from the 11, the 4, and the 5.
So there you heard from Grant, number 1, Poppy Crease, the horse to beat, but you might just be 100% right. You might be 1 up at 10-1 with Gold for Africa, having run on the poly track when staying on 4th behind Salient Point. So does have the experience on the poly track, number 11, Gold for Africa. That'll take us on to race number 5. We're now at the halfway stage. It'll be run over 1600 meters. And when you look at race number 5, Grant, this horse Bush Tracker, I've liked him in his last 2 runs and he's really put them to bed. But the handicap has now pushed him back to more or less where he started off in his career ratings-wise.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for him. There's no doubt. 14 points, it's a lot. Carrying a big weight. But he's in solid, good form, man. Not going to be easy though. Blonde Act, back to the mile, done extremely well. He won very well. I think he won 4 in a row. No problem with the surface, no problem with the distance. I'm actually going from Blonde Act to beat Bush Tracker with Peace in Our World and Tarantino to fill up those minor positions. But place accumulators, the 1 and the 7 will get you through.
Let's go on to race number 6, which at this stage is on the turf. It's the Dahlia Plate listed over 1200 meters. And just having a look at the betting, Justin Snaith, number 5, Golden Sickle. Well, after watching the midweek meeting, did you watch how many winners the Snaith team had?
Yeah, they had a few.
Yeah, just that conveyor belt just continues to roll out, and 19-10 about number 5, Golden Sickle. Just having a look at this individual, ran 2nd to October Morn last time out, makes the journey, and let's see. If running on the turf, Golden Sickle, all the runs have been on the turf. If changing to the poly, we'll have to keep a close eye. Point us in the right direction as far as this listed event goes.
Yeah, tricky kind of a race now, especially with the 2-year-olds. Stays on grass. The fillies have probably got the upper hand. I'm still strong, and I'm not changing my mind. Vision of Wonder, I think he's a very, very good colt. I'm going to stick with him, irrespective of whichever surface. Golden Sickle holds Lunar Halo, so she should run in front of it. But then again, the one has had to travel and stay over an extra week in a strange yard, so that probably kick it over to Lunar Halo, then Golden Sickle and Joy of Peace. But I'm strong on Vision of Wonder. I don't want to go against him. He's a good horse.
Then let's move on to the big one, which is race number 7, the World Sports Betting East Cape Derby, listed over 2,400 meters. Now, when you look at the best weighted column, number 1, Perfection, does have number 2, Heathcliff. Although if you look at that last run, Heathcliff did beat number 1, Perfection. Now take us through Perfection and Heathcliff, because Perfection stepped up to the 2,000 last time out and just seemed to be found wanting, whereas Heathcliff was drawing away very neatly at the business end.
Yeah, getting 4 kilograms, a big factor there, Sheldon. Getting 4 kilograms on a very sticky course. If they stay on grass, Heathcliff will beat him, there's no doubt. As I said to you earlier on, I don't think it's going to be on grass. I think it's on poly. And this horse Perfection grows another 2 legs when he gets onto the poly. It'll be a very hard horse to beat if it goes over to poly. I've got to tip it as it is on grass, and then I'm going to tip Heathcliff to beat Perfection. And then Cosmic Event and the likes of Sheriano and Quasimodo. But if it goes to poly, I'm very, very strong on Perfection. I think he's a very, very good poly horse. He gets gears in certain stages of the race, especially on the turn, where he can get 2-3 lengths on the field, and he keeps finding he's got a magnificent action on him. So let's check what the surface is. Heathcliff on grass and Perfection on the poly.
And then number 3, Cosmic Event, who is the current 2-1 favourite from the Justin Snaith team. He's notched up 2 wins from his 10 lifetime appearances to date. He's coming off a victory, fresh off a win beating Night Ruler. He took on See It Again in a penultimate run in the Cape Derby. He's obviously out of his league there. In this type of pecking order, where would you put him, back in second or third?
Yeah, second, third. You know, it's so difficult. You know, I know what these conditions are going to be like, and these horses are never raced on the poly. It's so much quicker than what they used to, and they find themselves deep out of the ground with 400 to go when they swing for home. They can't make that kind of ground up when you're against the likes of Perfection. You're not going to be making up 4, 5, 6 lengths. But you know, it's unknowns. If it stays on grass, they're massive runners, but they're not used to the poly surface. They've had to stay over an extra week in a strange yard. It's very, very difficult for them now. I think the locals will take the Derby.
Excellent. Let's go on to race number 8, which is due off at 15:35. We back to the poly over 1,300 metres. Just having a look at the anti-post betting, they are saying it's a wide open affair. Number 4, Bonnaroo, is trading at 4-1. Number 3, Chronicles of Narnia, is at 5-1. Number 2, Rainbow Thief, around 8-1. Now let's kick off with number 2, Rainbow Thief, Grant, because when you look at this horse in his penultimate run, I thought he'd be a little bit of an each-way proposition, dropping down to a 72 after previously being a 91. And it was no surprise to see him follow up beating Like It Hot last time out. In fact, her.
Yeah, very nice. She's found form. John's got her in a good spot. She won a good race last time out. She finished off extremely strongly in 22.1. She is my second pick, but this filly Bonnaroo, the way she won first time out here from a bad draw. I know she's drawn out at 14 again, but you've got an extra 100 metres and you've got that Richard Fourie factor. He seems to get them placed no matter where they're drawn. He's just got the knack of doing it. So she's a big runner. Chronicles of Narnia drawn 1, back in trip. She's got solid form. She's got to be in the money. And as I said, Rainbow Thief. And then I also had a bit of time here for the horse called Badra. She got a draw this time. Only got beaten 1.8 last time out. And maybe found the mile a little bit on the far side, but she's back to the trip that she's done well in. And then for pick sixes, you're going to have to add in Global Goddess, front runner with Yeni up with a low weight. She's got to be a runner, but I'm going to give it to Bonnaroo, Rainbow Thief, Chronicles of Narnia, and then those others that I mentioned in the pick six as well.
Let's go on to the second last hurdle, which is race number 9 over 1,200 metres. The betting 9-2 the field. Number 8 Open Secrets trading at 9-2, 5-1 number 3 Pashton Wali, and then you can get about Mr. Bodacious around about 6-1. Where do we start off in race number 9, Grant? Looking at the runners, number 3 Pashton Wali managed to scrape in from a 15 draw last time out. I think he was a bit of a fortunate winner because I actually liked the second horse, Burning Wings, was a little bit stiff on that occasion. Where do you put number 3 Pashton Wali?
I don't know about stiff, Sheldon. The boy put his hands down.
I didn't want to say too much.
And got punished accordingly. A lucky winner, but probably found the right race that day, and probably found the right race again. In my opinion, this is a field race. It's absolute nightmare. You're going to need a crystal ball to find a winner here. Pashton Wali looked like he need a run. First time out, he was probably the best horse in the parade ring on the day, and ran on and won a decent race from off the pace. Got a draw this time. Got to be a big runner. Second run after a layoff, another negative that I'm always a big believer in. I suggest the punters go wild here. I have gone 3, 8, 15, and 1. But Sheldon, very, very tricky race. This filly Open Secrets drawn out at 16, but she always gives them starts. And this Polly's going to be very fast on Friday because it's been so cold. It's going to be a real quick surface. Call me Mr. Greenlight. He'll probably end up going to the front. I doubt Moosey's going to hold him. He could stay on to run a drum, but a very tricky race where the punters really need to go as wide as possible.
Right, moving on to the 10th and final event. We've had 9 races behind us. We've got 1 race left on the program. It's over 1,000, and you're talking about the conditions going to be quick on the poly. 1,000 meters, there's no room for error. So how would you guide the punters in race number 10? If they're on the back foot and looking to make some money, or if they're ahead and just looking to have some fun, another race that is a wide open betting affair.
Yeah, Sheldon, I actually like the one a lot. I like it hot. I think she's actually worth a bet. 1,000 meters, Polly. It's right down her alley. She's down in class. She raced against an average rating of 68 last time out, down to an average rating of 65. That one draw in the Polly over 5 furlong is vital, especially with a front runner like this. She can get away with them. I'm not worried about the 61 kilos over the 5 furlongs on Polly. This filly Ride the Lightning, very, very good first run out. Got slightly left. If she jumps on term, she'll give that a run for her money. And then Quick Count, another filly that's got a lot of pace. I think the winner will come from one of those 3, but I do think if the punters are in a bit of trouble, they can have a bet on the one horse here.
Excellent. So for Grand Paddock number 1, I like it hot. Well, hopefully that'll heat things up if you are under pressure, and if you are going into race number 10 well ahead, then you can play for free, and hopefully she comes through to do the business. Grant, your suggested bet is the buy pot and a value and a best bet. So I'll let you off the line. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us all the info. And then I'll give the punters your best bets for the day. Thanks very much, Grant.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks very much to Grant Paddock joining us on the line as we'll bring up his suggested slide. His best bet is race 2, number 8, Vandalize, trading at around 8 to 10 as we speak at the time of recording. The value bet will be race 4, number 11, Gold for Africa. And you heard from Grant at around 10 to 1. This is a horse that they do fancy and will give the favourite a run for the money. As far as the suggested bet goes, the exotic, that is the buy pot, where we'll go with number 8 as a banker. Grant's bankered number 8 by numbers 2 and 3, by 1, 4, 11, by 1 and 7, by banker 1, by numbers 1, 2 and 7. So that's a look at the suggested bets from Grant Paddock. So Fairview Racing, best of luck to all. Keep a close eye on the weather conditions and let's see what the day has in store for all.